Welcome to City Insider, your guide to what's happening in your community. This is a short tutorial on how to use City Insider and explain a little bit about what it is, why we built it, and what you can do with it. So City Insider is a great way to understand what's happening in your community. It's built to kind of empower Chattanoogan's with data through a simple and easy to use interface. So a lot of times that starts, in the case of City Insider, with just a basic map. You can put in an address. In this case, we'll put in the address for City Hall. And zoom in. And you can see what things are happening around you. We click on any one of these, you can see what has occurred in close proximity to that. So there's a motor vehicle threat, theft, drunkenness, theft from building, drug narcotic violation. So even just with a quick search of an address, we can start to see what's occurring really close to that address. But if you want to be more targeted with your actual kind of understanding what's happening, there's a couple things you can do. So City Insider comes preloaded with a bunch of data, in this case police data and 311 data. For this tutorial, we'll just be using police data. You can choose to see all police data, or you can see specific data sets. So in this case, it's pulling all these types of police data in. Let's say we're only interested in drunkenness. So now when we change the filter, you can see that only those incidents are popping up. We can also change the date range to a date range we're interested in, or choose a predetermined one, such as in the last 6 months. See a few more popped up, and we can see more. Again, we can hover over to see the details. I'm going to hit this X down here to close out the search bar, and then what that does is it makes it so more and more of those incidents occur. As you zoom out, you'll see they start to collapse where there's more of them happening in close proximity to each other. So that kind of gives you a sense for what we call clustering, or where things are grouped together. So once you've kind of figured out what data you want to look at, in this case we're wanting to look at police incidents of drunkenness and the date range the last 6 months, you can start to do some really neat things with the actual application and visualizing it on a map. So on the left here, on the filters, you can click a little click down arrow right there, which opens and closes the bars. For the event options, we just selected the data and the date range. If you click on maps, you can see there's 3 different map views. This is our current street map view, but they also have a heat map view. If you click on that, it shows you kind of a heat map. So the darker red is where more of those incidents are occurring, and the lighter green is where less is occurring. So if we zoom out a little bit, you can see that at least for that time period that we specified, there seems to be a concentration in this area, downtown Chattanooga, for the police incidents we're looking at. You can also choose what's called a chloropleth map, which just basically takes the data you're looking at and sums it up for a specific geography. In this case, we have neighborhoods loaded. So we can see in the Southside Cohort Place neighborhood there was 9 incidents for public drunkenness. Port Negley there's 4, and Jefferson Heights looks like there was 0 for the time being. City Insider comes preloaded with neighborhood associations geography, and it also includes city council district. So if we switch to that, the data will also update to that as well, and we can see where the data is summing up for that. So in this case, there was 95 for Council District 7 and 46 for Council District 8. So even real quickly, even just with a couple clicks of the button, we begin to see where things are occurring and get a sense for what's happening. You can dive a little bit deeper. If you click on the events, this shows you what's been going on in the last 6 months. You can kind of see the ramp of what's been happening there. And then this is another heat map, so less events is lighter and more events is more darker. And it's broken by date and time, so you can kind of see when more events happen. So for public drunkenness, it looks like Friday at 11 p.m. seems to be the peak time for that to occur, and also on the Saturday. So later in the afternoon, during the weekends, is what you would come to expect. There's also a button here if you want to compare. So what this does is it looks at the last 6 months. So for the last 6 months, there was only 13 incidents, and for these current 6 months, there was 200. So there's something going on that in the last previous 6 months, there was not as many incidents occurring. So now we've had a sense, we've been able to look at the trends, see the data, zoom into a map and see what's happening. You can change your data and filter it by only certain areas. So if we're only wanting to see one council district, I can click on that. So now the data is going to be just showing up for Council District 1. And anytime you make kind of changes and do selections on your data, you can clear it out at the top here. This is what you've selected so far. So police data, park data, and Council District 1 data. So if I close that out, it will reselect everything and update the map correspondingly. Now, great. So let's say you've explored the map. You now want to share it with others. Great thing about City Insider is that you can share your view and what you found with friends, neighborhoods, and neighbors, and everyone else. You can do that one of two ways. You can actually just copy and paste the URL, which is this long address up here, and you can copy that by right-clicking and hitting copy, or hitting a shortcut key for copy, and then you can paste that and send it, and people will see the exact same view that you see. You can also share. So you can share via email, Facebook, and Twitter, so that more people can actually have access to what's happening and see it there. If you operate a website, you can embed the whole application inside your website as well, so that people have access to City Insider on your website. The last thing I want to show you is you can actually create alerts. In this case, I'm going to create an alert for a neighborhood. So I'm going to create an alert for the Martin Luther King neighborhood. So first I'm going to zoom in to this and pick Martin Luther King. So now I have the Martin Luther King neighborhood highlighted and the data set that we previously selected, which was drunkenness. And if I want to create an alert, I hit here to say create alert. Now it's going to ask me to log in. Since I'm already logged in, I'm going to log in with something previously, but you can also use I think Facebook and Google and others to log in. Now that I'm logged in, I can hit create alert. It will ask me to name the alert. I'm going to say ML King, and how often I want to see updates. Let's say I want weekly updates. I'm going to click OK. So now I'll get an email once a week giving me updates on what is happening in ML King related to the search that I was interested in. So that's pretty much it. That's City Insider. I hope you will find it useful and can use it in your community to empower and feel like you can have meaningful conversations and actually make some changes and the city a better place. We hope you enjoy it. Please keep checking back as we'll be continually refining and updating the application with new data sets and additional features. Thank you.